When it comes to moving to a brand new location, there are oftentimes so many little things that people overlook. And what I've found in this process is sometimes missing these little teeny tiny details can mean big things later on in the process. So if you are thinking about maybe making a move to Santa Rosa, California, this video is exactly for you. I'm gonna be going over step by step exactly what it's gonna take for you to move here. Like if you're in a lease, if you own a home right now in a different location, when should you sell it? How does a contingent sale work? When do I get pre-approved? What do I do about my job? All of these sort of things we're gonna be covering in today's video. So I have compiled a list of about 15 to 16 different things that it's going to take for you to do if you are considering a move to Santa Rosa, California. And sometimes this list varies in about where to do things and when, but basically we're just gonna be going over a few bullet points on each one of them to give you a better understanding of what it's gonna mean to move to Santa Rosa. Number one is research. I get people all the time, and I'm extremely blessed. Sometimes people have seen my videos, they've watched a couple of them, they start doing a little bit more research on Santa Rosa and determine that they like it. But for you, that research needs to be much deeper. If you have a family, if you are retired, start looking into Santa Rosa, reach out to someone like myself. Maybe you want to know a little bit more about a particular neighborhood. Maybe you want to know more about after-school programs because you have children. Whatever the case is, do your research. If this really is a place you want to call home in the next couple of years, you know, just watching a couple videos just strictly isn't going to do it. Once you like Santa Rosa from the research that you have been doing, the next big thing is asking yourself why. Why is it right now the best time for you to move to Santa Rosa? Oftentimes from what I've found is a lot of people do some research. They like the wine stuff that you can do here in Santa Rosa. They like the restaurants. Maybe they like the nightlife. Maybe they like the private living in certain neighborhoods in Santa Rosa. But from what I have found, that is strictly not enough to pack up your whole life and move to a brand new location. So really ask yourself why, and what does your 5 to 10 year plan look like? Are you just gonna be staying here because maybe you're relocating for a job for a couple of years, and then you're gonna be on to the next spot? Maybe you're a traveling nurse, something that we deal with often here. So really asking yourself why you want to move to Santa Rosa, and are you going to do what it takes to make that move happen? Number 3 is one that obviously is not looked at enough, and that is the job. What about your job? See, a lot of people today are remote. They can do their job from home, wherever that may be, and that's fantastic. But for a lot of you maybe watching this video right now, maybe you're working at a hospital, maybe you're thinking about transferring to a different location. It is so important to have all of those details lined up from your employer, whoever that may be. So maybe you are considering moving here and you are starting to apply to certain areas. It's very important to stay on top of that and make sure that you are going to get the job lined up that you want, and more importantly, the timeline from when you will start, because that is really going to be the start of our process. So now at this time, maybe you have things figured out with your job, you have a timeline, you've done your research, maybe you've picked out a couple of the areas that you like. Now it's time to actually come and visit. I get people reaching out all the time that love the area, they love all the research, they've picked out some neighborhoods, but they've never actually been here in person. And see, I wish videos could do this place justice, but it simply does not, especially if you're thinking about moving here and be here for the next 10, 15, 20 years. It is so important for you to actually come here, plan a week, plan 2 weeks, whatever your schedule, whatever you can make work with your schedule. Come down, take a visit, walk around, stay in a hotel, stay in an Airbnb, hit me up. I'll show you around town a little bit. I'll let you know some good places to stay, some good things to do, and so on and so forth. But it is so important, and it may seem crazy, but a lot of people miss this step. Maybe they're getting relocated here from a job and they're like, I'm just gonna buy a house there. Obviously the motivation is high, but it is still very important to come, put some boots on the ground, walk around, and make sure this is an area you wanna be in. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, do me a huge favor, hit the like button and make sure you hit the subscribe button. I drop a video once a week, every single week, all having to do with living in Sonoma County. So if that interests you, hit the subscribe button so you are notified next time I drop a video. And if you have any questions about relocating to the Sonoma County area, I am a full-time real estate agent right here in Santa Rosa. All of my info popping up right now is my personal information. I'm the one answering the phone calls, the text, and the emails. So call me, text me, or email me if you are thinking about making a move. And number 5 on the list, and this can come as number 1, number 5, number 4, number 3, whatever, is schedule a Zoom call with me. The link is down below. Schedule a quick 30-minute consultation, and let's just see if this really is a place you want to be. I love to set up this Zoom call, get some criteria from you. What areas are you looking at? What's important to you about an area? What is your timeline? What do you have going on, and how can I help? This step is crucial to start working together, even if it's early on in the process. I've got a couple people I'm talking to now that have been talking to you for about 2 to 3 years, and I absolutely love it. You don't have to move tomorrow if you reach out to me. It's just, let's get started. Let's create a game plan together to make this move so much easier for you. And during that Zoom call, we're gonna, again, set you up on a home search. So we're gonna start sending you properties that fit your criteria. Also, if you are not in contact with a lender at that point, I will get you in contact with a lender. Then you reach out to the lender, you guys get pre-approved, pre-qualified, then we then schedule a Zoom call later on for our pre-approval and home buying process Zoom call. And number 6 is exactly that, get pre-approved. A lot of people miss this step. You know, they do some homework, they do their research, they like a house, they contact me, they want to go see it, but it just simply does not work out like that, especially in today's market. A home can be active one day and gone the next. It really, this market is extremely, extremely different from some of the other markets we've seen. So it's important to get pre-approved and to get pre-approved early. If you have a lender, that's great. I work with someone here locally that I've been working with for a couple years now who is amazing at doing many different aspects of pre-qualification, single family condos, mobile homes, rural property, you name it, he has it. So get pre-approved and get pre-approved early. And number 7, what is your current living situation? Are you renting month to month? Are you in a lease? Do you own a home? Do you live with family? Let's get a plan together, because oftentimes people fall in love with a home, they fall in love with the area, and they're trapped into a lease that they have to buy themselves out of. Maybe they don't have enough funds at the moment to do so. So these things are better to be addressed early on in the process than later. And if you do have to sell a home, you know, what does that look like with your job? What is your estimated time to get here? When do you start work? You know, allow yourself at least a week before you move here to start working so you can move in, so you can set up utilities. You know, if the home needs a little bit of repair, you know, these sort of things have to get taken care of early on. So your living situation, your current living situation, and there is some things we can do to maybe buy you a little bit more time here. So if you're thinking about selling a home, you've committed to Santa Rosa or any of the other areas in Sonoma County, you have your start date for your job. You know, we have to start listing that home when it's appropriate for it to sell, because we don't want to list your home, sell it, and then there's a 2-week gap and then you start your job here. Maybe you have to travel. We definitely don't want to leave you unhomed. So these sort of things, these small details are things we really iron out during the process of buying a home here in Santa Rosa. And we can really make things as seamless as possible. We've had families move here from Hawaii and they moved right into their home. They did have to put some stuff in storage for a little bit, and they had to have some stuff shipped out from Hawaii to here like a week later after they had already moved in. So, you know, there are some nuances to these sort of things. There's so much you can control, especially if there's third parties involved, like a shipping company, a moving company, you know, if you have an apartment, whatever the case is. So ironing out that timeline in the beginning is very, very, very important. And then figuring out what you have to do and how it's going to happen. You can do a contingent sale. You know, we can maybe ask for an extended escrow on your new home here in Santa Rosa. So there's a couple different things we can do, but the more we know, the more we can help. So now you're pre-approved, you're slowly kind of making your way to the end goal of buying a home here in Santa Rosa. This is when we set up our second Zoom call. This one's a little bit longer, typically 30 to 40 minutes or so. And what we're gonna go over here is simply a buyer presentation. We're gonna show you and walk you through step by step by step what it means to buy a home, what escrow is, what a typical timeline is here in Sonoma County, if there's any contingencies, so on and so forth. If you're selling your house, if we're buying this one, how that all works out. This is really a very comprehensive Zoom call where I go over absolutely everything that it takes, because even if someone has purchased a home, say in Washington, and they're moving here from Washington, and they've maybe done that a couple times in Washington, maybe they have some rental properties, family properties, whatever the case is, the process here in California and specifically in Sonoma County is a lot different. There's oftentimes in Illinois, they have attorneys handle escrow. Here we have escrow officers and the agents and lenders that kind of make things all into one so that the deal can close at the end of escrow. So it's a little bit of a different process here. Even if you've gone through it in maybe another state, it is important that we sit down for that second Zoom call now that you're pre-approved. We can tweak things maybe on the search. We can iron out the price now that you are pre-approved so we know what that looks like. You've gone over lender payments. You know what everything is going to look like. You're pre-approved to here. This is how much your payment's going to be. So scheduling the second Zoom call to go over all of this is extremely important. And now the fun really begins, because you've started to receive properties, you're fully approved, you're happy with the payment, you're ready to go, you're locked in. Now, if you are not here physically yet in Santa Rosa, what we do all the time is we set up virtual showings. So it's basically a FaceTime call from me and you, and I'm basically going to walk you through the house, address any concerns that you may have. And then we just keep on going throughout the process, right? If that one doesn't work out, we go to the next one. Maybe you're planning another visit here, so you're in person, which is even better, so we can show those properties together. You're going to be sending me properties that I've already sent to you that you like and that check all of the boxes. So now we're going to go out and actually physically start to see these homes and see which one you're going to fall in love with. You've seen a couple of houses now, maybe it's your very first one, and you are ready to write an offer. We're going to go through this together in person or Zoom call if you're still out of the area, and go over what this offer is going to look like. You know, right now the market is a little bit tricky, so really ironing out the best price and terms for you is my only concern. So we're going to write an offer and we're going to kind of continue on with the process, and do not get discouraged if that first offer does not get accepted, because like I've said, the market now is really, really weird. A house can sell in 2 days or a home can sit on the market for over a year. You really just never know. It all depends on the house. So we can start writing offers and just get us that much closer to the end goal. You finally got an offer accepted. Now this is when things really start to get exciting, because now you're going to start coordinating from your old location to here once we have an accepted offer. It's typically best to wait until all contingencies are released in the transaction. A typical transaction is about 30 days here in Santa Rosa, and your inspection contingency is about 17 to 21 days. So obviously after the 21 days, you know, there's not really a whole lot of time left until close of escrow. So moving things at the very end can be challenging. So typically it's best to start the process of moving here physically when you do have an accepted offer. And we will do everything in our power to make sure the deal goes through, make sure you're happy with the price, happy with the home, so on and so forth. During escrow, we're going to be making sure that timeline is skewing the way we want it to. Maybe you're selling a home there or you're in a lease. We want to make sure that that escrow is getting wrapped up near the time that our escrow is getting wrapped up. Again, the last thing I want to do is have any of my clients have to stay in a hotel, or, you know, God forbid that they have nowhere to stay. Hopefully they have some family if all things lead that way. But we want to make sure these time frames are the same or as close to the same as we can get them. So that home that you're selling is closing at or around the time you are closing your home here, so you can move straight from here, pack up the moving vans and load out this way. So we're really going to be kind of critiquing that timeline. If we have to buy us a little bit more time on our end, we can. If you need to push back escrow on your end, hopefully you can do so during that time. It all really depends. But during this escrow process, it's a fine dance to get us to that finish line. Here in Sonoma County, at least in our area, it is extremely uncommon for people to start moving into a home before escrow closes. So we want to make sure we wrap up escrow and we close escrow successfully, and then we can start organizing the moving vans from wherever you're headed from out this way. If you have to keep things in a storage container, I have contacts for that. If you need to stay in a hotel, I have contacts for that, whatever the case is. So kind of during escrow, you know, we want to coordinate with the movers and see if we can get them in the house. The last thing we want to do, have you move into a home and have absolutely no furniture and no bed to sleep on. on. So we got to coordinate these things and make sure everything kind of lines up. And lastly, we've wrapped up escrow. You have officially purchased a home right here in Sonoma County. We want to make sure all of the utilities are going to be turned on, power. We want to have internet. We want to make sure we have a trash account set up, water, and these sort of things. So this is kind of the last process, the last step in the process of moving into the home. We want to make sure we have all of our utilities, right? The last thing we want to do is move into a home. We have no water, can't flush the toilets. Not a good look. So wrapping these things up, these last minute details are extremely important. And that's going to wrap up this week's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, my name is Danny M. Cronin. I'm a full-time real estate agent right here in Santa Rosa. So if you have any questions at all about buying or selling, I am your guy. All of my contact information is down below. Contact me when it's, you know, you're buying a home in less than a week, and contact me if you're thinking about buying a home in the next 3 years. It really does not matter to me. The most important thing to me is that we are complying with your timeline. Whatever that looks like, whenever the timing is right, I want to make sure we are on the same page, get a game plan together. So the only way you can do that is by reaching out to me. So contact me. All my contact information is down below. Call me, text me, email me, whatever is most convenient for you. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.